If you want to get six-pack abs at home and you're serious about putting in the work that's required to get them, then the workout that I'm about to share with you is going to help you a lot. I started training my abs when I was 14 years old, and since then I've used the same exercises and techniques that I'm going to go over with you today to build them up to where they are now. And over the years, the two biggest mistakes that I've seen people make were either not dieting correctly or not training their abs correctly. Most people just assume it's all about diet, but the truth is that not only will you have to make sure that your diet's on point, but you'll also have to build up the ab muscles themselves. I've seen too many people attempt to get really lean thinking that they'll look like Hugh Jackman or some other fit celebrity after they're done dieting, but they quickly learn that as important as diet is, it's just half of the equation. The other half is about building muscle. And I'm gonna help you do just that today without any gym equipment required. The training style that I recommend for this type of workout is short intervals. So 20 seconds on and then 10 seconds off before moving on to the next exercise. Even though that might sound simple, by working on these 10 effective exercises, you'll get more visible muscular abs and you'll be able to constantly see results just by progressively training them harder over time. Let's start with the very first exercise, which is by far my favorite, the Navy SEAL sit-ups. If you've ever done bicycle sit-ups, you'll notice some similarities right away, but this is a much more effective exercise that you'll feel working right away. You'll want to start by lying flat on your back with your legs straight and your feet together slightly above the ground. Next, you want to sit up and bring one elbow to the opposite knee. Then return back to the starting position with your feet slightly above the ground before you switch sides and bring the other elbow to your other knee. Then repeat for reps until your 20 seconds are up. After the 20 seconds, take a quick 10-second break while switching to the next exercise. It's important to keep in mind that when performing this exercise, you want to bring your shoulder blades up off the ground and sit your upper body all the way up, not just twist your upper body side to side as you bring your knees in. Also remember that all these exercises can be adjusted for the level that you're at right now. With Navy SEAL sit-ups, you can make it harder over time by holding weights in your hands while performing the exercise the same way. You can also make it easier by regressing to bicycle sit-ups. With bicycle sit-ups, you would have both knees bent and both feet on the ground. With each rep, you would only bring one foot up off the ground and return to the starting position before doing the next rep. This makes it a much more manageable exercise for beginners until they're ready to progress to Navy SEAL sit-ups. The next exercise is the dying beetle. Here you would bend your knees and raise your feet off the ground until your kneecaps are pointed straight up towards the ceiling. Then you would put your hands behind your head as if you're about to do crunches. Now the goal of this exercise is to rock back and forth like a seesaw and rotate your body each time that you rock. You would do this by lifting your shoulder blades off the ground for what looks like a crunch. Then as you bring your shoulder blades back down, you bring your knees into your chest, bring your hips off the ground, and you rotate your lower body. Now, I know this exercise might look ridiculous, but trust me, it's a lot harder than it looks. In fact, if this is too difficult for you, then you can bend your knees, plant your feet on the ground, and reach for your heels side to side. Just remember to try to keep your abs tight and your shoulder blades off the ground while doing this. If the regular dying beetle is too easy, you can take a dumbbell or a gallon of water and hold it either against your chest or behind your head while performing this exercise. Moving on, we have our third exercise, which is going to be an isometric V hold. Here we would start by lying flat on the ground with your legs straight out and your arms straight above your head. Next, you would lift your shoulder blades and legs off the ground until it looks like you just completed a V sit-up. Except instead of lowering back down, you would just try to hold that position with your hands pointed towards your toes for the full 20 seconds. If that gets too hard, then you can switch over to an isometric crunch. Here you would put both hands behind your head, raise your shoulder blades off the ground, and hold it. If you want to make this exercise more advanced, you would hold a weight in your hands while in the V hold position. However you do it, after taking a 10-second break, you're going to be switching over to butterfly crunches. Start this one by getting into a butterfly position, then lay flat on your back with both arms straight and hands pointed straight up towards the ceiling. Next, bring your shoulder blades off the ground and continue reaching up straight towards the ceiling. This is very important because a lot of people will point at a 60-degree angle towards their legs once they come up off the ground, which makes this exercise a lot easier. You want to aim for a 90-degree angle from the floor. If you need a regression for this exercise, you could bend your knees, place both feet on the ground, place your hands on your thighs, and slide your hands over your kneecaps with each rep. To make this exercise more difficult, you can either hold a weight in your hands or you could raise your legs and keep your feet above the ground the whole time. After doing this one for 20 seconds, you should definitely be starting to feel your abs burn. Instead of taking a 10-second break, you're going to flip over and perform a cobra stretch by placing your hands on the ground, straightening your elbows and looking up at the ceiling while keeping your hips on the ground. Hold that for 20 seconds and then go straight to a leg raise pulse up. For this one, if you have something sturdy to grab onto above your head, you can do it that way, or you can also put your hands under your butt in a triangle position instead. Raise your legs up until your heels are pointed straight towards the ceiling, and then you're gonna drive your legs up towards the ceiling by raising your hips off the ground. Your feet should not go behind your head, and you should do your best to drive them straight up towards the ceiling. A more advanced way to perform this exercise would be by placing a light weight in between your feet. To make it easier, you would skip the leg raises and just do pull-ups. Up next, we're going to hit the obliques with oblique V sit-ups. Here you'll want to spend 20 seconds on each side. You would lay on one side with your hips tilted more towards your butt rather than straight on your hip bone. Then you would put the arm closest to the floor straight out in front of you and place your opposite hand behind your head. Lift your upper and lower body up off the ground and aim to bring your elbow and your knees together. Go back to the starting position and repeat this for reps. If this one is too difficult, you could just lay flat on your back, turn your knees over to one side and stack them on top of each other, and then perform crunches from there. An advanced version would be to get into a side plank position, drop your hips towards the ground, and then squeeze your abs to bring them back up for a side crunch. After doing both sides, you're moving on to jackknives. For this one, you would start sitting up, straighten your legs out, raise your feet off the floor, hold your arms straight in front of you, and bring your knees into your chest. As you bring your legs back to the starting position, lower your upper body as well, and then bring your upper and lower body back up by sitting up and bringing those knees inwards towards the chest. To make this exercise easier, simply plant your hands behind your back for support. To make it harder, add a weight in between your feet. After the 20 seconds are up, don't take a break and instead flip over onto your stomach again for another 20-second cobra stretch. After that's over, bring your body up into a push-up position and bring one knee in up towards your opposite elbow and then switch sides back and forth. You want to make sure that you're squeezing tight when you bring the knee in. Almost imagine like you're trying to touch your armpit. If this happens to be too difficult, then you can regress to regular mountain climbers. To make this one more difficult, bring your knee into the opposite arm, squeeze your abs, and hold it for a 3-second count before bringing it back. Only 2 more left, guys, and the next one is the alternating V-up. Here you'll want to lay flat on your back with your legs straight, holding your feet slightly above the ground and your arms straight up above your head. Bring one arm and your shoulder blade up off the ground at the same time that you raise the opposite leg, aiming to touch that foot. Then switch back and forth. You can hold some light weights in your hands to make this exercise more difficult, and if you need a regression, then you can keep both feet on the floor rather than hovering them above the ground the whole time. The last exercise is a reverse crunch with a pulse-up. Once again, you're going to start lying on your back with your hands under your butt and your feet hovering a few inches above the ground. Bend your knees and start bringing them in towards your chest until your hips start coming up off the ground. And then you're going to be performing a pulse-up, but I want you to do this one with your knees bent. So raise your hips and knees up towards the ceiling, again aiming to go straight up rather than behind your head. Then bring your hips back to the ground and extend your legs back to the starting position, and repeat that for reps. To make this exercise more challenging, simply place a light weight in between your feet. And to make it easier, instead of having your legs straight out as the starting position, keep your knees bent. That's it, guys. I really hope this video has helped you out. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon. Also, if you're looking for more ab exercises like this, as well as a proven diet plan that'll help you lower your body fat percentage so you can see some shredded abs, then try my 6-week challenge. The program comes with everything you need to lower your body fat percentage, get rid of stubborn fat, and lose weight. And you could do the workouts at a gym or right in your own home. The diet plan comes with a recipe book, and you'll have a coach checking in with you every week to ensure that you stay on track. To find out more, you can click the link below in the description, or you could just visit my website directly at gravitytransformation.com. I'll see you guys soon.